Hello everyone. Today I'm sowing more seeds again, would you believe? It's a rarity for you, Steve, but there you go. And hope I've got the right ones here. Yep. I want to get some roots seeds done, and the first one is a Swede, and I want that hopefully to stand through the winter for winter cropping. I'm going to sow quite heavily as usual, and then as they grow up I'll thin them out. But this one is a new variety to me. Normally I grow something simple like Best of All, or I think the other one I tried a few years ago was one called Marion, and the Marion I think was quite hollow in the middle. The Best of All I've had reasonable results with, but can get canker. So I'm just trying this one. It's called Gowrie. I'm going to do 2 or 3 rows of these, I think, and just see how we get on with them. I say, never grown it before. Saw that it was a new variety, or a variety that I hadn't grown before. So in for a penny, in for a pound. And I'm also going to sow some turnips. The turnips will come much quicker, so hopefully we should be eating those kind of in the autumn, and that will just give us a continuation. So I have got some turnips planted over there. I haven't even looked at them recently, to be honest, but they'll need thinning out or harvesting. So they'll just keep me going, and next month we'll get the sort of the second spring stuff going. So there we go, there's 3 lines of Swede. And it's lovely, this sort of sowing outdoors, getting your hands in the beds, you know, really nice stuff. So the next one is turnip, and my favourite is purple top. Any of the purple top turnips really. We used to call them navet when I was in catering, which is just French for turnip. And we used to like the tiny ones. They were literally only this big, and you prepare them by leaving some of the stem on and cooking them and serving them up. Absolutely beautiful. And there is a little bit of heat in a turnip, not a great deal, but a little bit. It kind of resembles a radish in a way, and I'll be sowing some more radish in a minute. I don't know what it is. I love the French breakfast radish, that one, or Scarlet Globe. Scarlet Globe is the radish I normally grow. But this year, and I don't know, still haven't figured it out, I've got some radish down there, and I've tried them again this morning. They've gone over now, but there was just no flavour in them whatsoever, and for the life of me I can't figure it out. And we spoke about this on Tony's live show the other night. Audrey's from Real Food Comes Dirty, she's grown them this year, and she says they were wonderful, and she suggested it could be the seed, but I can't see how the seed would affect the flavour myself. I don't know. It's a bit of an oddity for me as to what was going on. But hey ho, I've got 2 new varieties which we'll sow in a minute. Next up, yeah, I've done 2 rows of the turnip, is some beetroot, and I'm going to try, which is difficult for me, to sow thinly here so I don't have to thin them out too much. But this one is Chioggia, Chiogia, Chiogia I call it. I have no doubt in my mind whatsoever that that is not the correct pronunciation for it. There we go. For me, that's quite a thin sowing. And just for anyone who doesn't know, the reason I'm using this stick is straight lines. Simply as that. And later on, when weeds come up, it's easier to tell your plants apart from, or your new seedlings apart from any weeds that might be growing. So there we go. It doesn't take very long to sow seeds, and this is the great thing about it, especially this time of year. Soil's relatively moist. It just rained yesterday. It's warm, and the seeds will get going. So I'm going to sow these radish now. One I've grown before, and the other one, I know the name, but I don't think I've ever grown it. So the first one and the one I've grown before, which is a nice radish, is called Sparkler. Now these will definitely need thinning. I could have raked this bed a bit better, Stephen. Now I'll put a couple of rows each in. And then all I've really got to do with these is just make sure that these seeds stay moist until I start seeing them coming through. And then you can ease back on the watering a little bit. So that one was Sparkler. There we go. Yeah, Sparkler. And then this last one is, I say, Cherry Bell. So the name's familiar, but I don't recall growing it. I'll put 2 rows of that in as well, I think. There we go, that'll do. So very quickly there, some Swedes, turnips, beetroots, a couple of types of radish sown. We'll go and have a look now and see what else needs sowing. I know they've got a few other things to add on. Right, this next one is a Romanesco cauliflower. It's kind of like a cross between a broccoli and a cauliflower, and what you have, little tiny heads that sort of pyramid up. I wonder if I just show you the picture on the packet. There we go. But this is lovely, and it's got a nice nutty flavour to it, so it goes well with, if you cut it up small, cook it quickly, because you still want it firm, you don't want it over softened. And then you can toss it into some clarified butter, and it's a delightful vegetable. Really is. I've had mixed success with this over the years. I know the first couple of years I grew it, I hardly had anything out, and then I've had a couple of good years, and that's where I'm at with it. I've only grown it for about 4 years, I think. We'll see how it does this year. So I have mixed fortunes with it, but I do know when I have had it out, it's gorgeous. So well worth growing that one. And then for the rest of this bed, I've got something which I know somebody Tony Smith, who calls it devil's food. The fact that he hasn't got a sophisticated palate doesn't come into it. It's probably not very fair of me to say that, but I think a lot of people are misguided with this. Fennel, yes, it does have a hint of aniseed, a little bit, or licorice, whatever you want to call it. It does have that essence of it, but it's incredibly mild. I hate licorice. I don't particularly like aniseed either, but this I will eat because it is so mild, and it's actually got more of an earthy taste, I believe. It's got that sort of, what I would say, almost like a beetroot or a chard background note of that lovely earthiness that we all appreciate in those vegetables. And it's got a delightful crunch when you eat it, if you don't overcook it. So I know some people will shy away from it because of those flavour profiles. I urge you to give it a go. Try it again. If you didn't like it the last time, have a go growing it and see what you think. Well worth it. So the flavour is very mild, and I very successfully, and I was very pleased, grew it over the winter this last year. Harvested the last of it just a couple of months ago, and I grew them in the polytunnel over winter, so that's never happened before. I try every year because what I want is the foliage from it for over winter to go in soup, stews, stock sauces, that sort of thing, salads even. But they grew well and managed to harvest bulbs, so I'm pleased with that. But this will take us up to into autumn, very, very early winter, sort of up to about Christmas time. So yeah, that's two more. Fennel and the Romanesco cauliflowers. Brill, so very quickly, nearly filled the bed with seeds. So in my last June sowing video, I mentioned that I needed to order green beans, the dwarf French beans, and I did that and they've arrived, and I thought I'd brought them down with me today because I was going to sow them on the video today direct in the polytunnel. Unfortunately I've left them at home. Also in the last video I talked about red grenoble, which is this one, whole packet of lettuce seeds here. This whole bundle was in the glove box of the vehicle. I've got seeds everywhere, I really need to sort them out. I think the only room in the house that hasn't got a packet of seeds in is the bathroom, and that might change yet, you never know, so I've really got to get them all sorted out. I've got all the containers to put them in, I just never seem to put them away. But anyway, I'm going to sow that red grenoble now as well, and then that's pretty much the sowing apart from the French beans, which I'll do another day now. But anyway, that's it for today. Look after yourselves everyone, please stay safe. I'll see you all very, very soon. Ta-ra now.